Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I recently completed my top 25 skater rankings on my YouTube, as well as my top 50 over on my Instagram. So now naturally we move on over to the goalies. We're going to be doing the top 10 here on YouTube, as well as I'll have 11 through 20 over on my Instagram. I'll either be posting that today or tomorrow. And Beyond Hockey, go follow. But yeah, the goalies list. When looking at the NHL goalies right now, I think that there's a pretty clear top four. But outside of that, it's kind of chaos. Guys have not been as consistent compared to like the 2010s when you kind of knew who the top 8 guys were and they were all posting like 9, 10 or above seasons every single year. These goalies have been very volatile. Some guy that I would have had top 7 a couple of years ago might now completely be out of the top 10 or even the top 15. It's all over the place. I'm going to try to make sense of it. So yeah, here's my top 10 goalies in the NHL right now. And at number 10, you want to talk about a guy that has been a little bit inconsistent in recent years. That has definitely been Darcy Keer. It looked like he was absolutely washed up, going from a 921 back in 2022 on that Colorado Avalanche team. Then a 908. His first year in Washington was a good starter for them, but then fell down to an 890. Charlie Lindgren basically stole his job. This year swung back up with a 921 save percentage on the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings are a great defensive team, but he also had pretty solid analytics as well. Playoffs were a little bit rough for him, but considering from like 2018 to 2022, this guy was such a good starter in multiple different spots. I think the 10 spot is about fair for Darcy Keer. I could see you maybe moving him up and having him like top 8, top 7. But again, last year was just objectively so bad that I can't quite put him there. At number 9, give me Filip Gustavsson. When looking at it, amazing in 2023, was on par with like Linus Omark when he won the Vezina on a per game basis, but only played 39 games. He had a 931 in that season. Last year, really slow start, had an 881 to start out the season in his first 10 games, but then kind of got back on track the rest of the way with a 908 save percentage. In this year, he's still only 26 years old also. That's what's very impressive. He's just hitting his prime now. Had a 914 to get the Minnesota Wild back into the playoffs. There was a stretch when Kaprizov and Ek were out in late January to late March where he put the team on his back, had a 10-6-1 record with a 928 to keep them in that playoff spot. And he's been damn good in the playoffs with a 921 in 2023 and a 914 this season. So amazing 2023. Bit of a down year last year, but this year, I think he was on my Vezina ballot, either 4th or 5th place. He has been damn good, and he's only 26 years old. He's reaching his prime now. I think that he is a top 10 goalie at this point. At number 8, Logan Thompson. He had an amazing start to the season on a per game basis, was arguably better than Connor Hellebuyck the first like 20 to 30 games at a 925 with a 21-2-3 record. He was nuts. He did eventually slow down and finish the season with a 910, but he was very good for the Washington Capitals come playoff time with a 917 save percentage, which led all goalies that played at least 5 games in the playoffs. This season was a top 5 to 6 goalie in the NHL. On top of the Vegas seasons, he was solid, so he has somewhat of a track record of just consistent good play. And similar to Gustavsson, he's just reaching his prime now. And as a result, I got him at number 8. At number 7, give me Linus Omark here, a guy that had a rough start to the season, going 4-8-1 in his first 9 games with an 881. Then he locked the hell in with an 8-0-1 in his next 10 games with a 952, and then finished the season pretty solid, finished with a 909. When looking at it, prior to this season, for the last 5 years, had at least a 915 save percentage. Some of those seasons being on the Buffalo Sabres, of course, won the Vezina back in 2023. One of the more consistent, again, in the age of where these guys have been extremely volatile. Like, spoiler alert, UC Saros isn't in my top 10 goaltenders because he's just been so volatile and kind of just ass the last couple of years. Linus Omark has been that consistent guy. Yes, the playoff numbers were not very ideal, and we're not very ideal in Boston. But in the regular season, there's few goalies that I trust more to give me at least like a 909, 910 throughout 45 to 50 games. And Linus Omark is one of them. And number 6, I'm going to go with Ilio Sroken. When looking at Sorokin, he started off pretty brutal this season with an 898 in his first 26 games. But in his final 35 games, he had a 914. Finished the year with around like 10 to 15 goals saved above expected. And when you look at the track record with this guy, last year was above average, wasn't his best season. But then the 924 and 925 that he had in prior seasons, he has a solid track record. This year was definitely a better year than the prior year. We've seen him at his highs of highs. Ilio Sroken is still a safe top 10 goalie in the NHL, even though I want him to get back to that 2022, 2023 form. Into our top five, we have Jake Oddinger. We're looking at it. You talk about another guy like Linus Omark that has just been consistent the last couple of years. That has been Jake Oddinger. Not a Vezina season by any means this year, but a 909 with 10.7 goals saved with expected. Yes, he plays on a very good Dallas team, but they're in part a safe playoff team every year because Jake Oddinger gives you 50 to 58 games, 60 games, I think even, of just 910, 915-ish goaltending. And come playoff time, he is one of the better playoff goalies of the last 3 to 4 years, helping get the Dallas Stars to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. So when you stack up the regular season consistency on top of being damn good come playoff time, and he's only 26 or 27 years old, Jake Oddinger checks in at number 5. Into our top 4, it starts to get dicey here. I'm going with Sergei Bobrovsky. I know people are going to scream that he has won back-to-back Stanley Cups, and that is awesome. And he's been a huge reason as to why this year in 9-14, as well as leading the playoffs and goals saved above expected. 2 out of the last regular seasons have not been amazing by Bobrovsky, and I know that the last 2 years especially, he's had a lot of work on his body, workload in terms of playing like 80 games every single year. I think number 4 is fine. I think that's a fair spot for Bobrovsky. Come playoff time, yes, he's probably a top 2 goalie, but in terms of the overall package regular season in playoffs, I'm going to put him at number 4. I don't think that the highs are quite as high as some of these other guys, and I know people are not going to like one guy that I have ahead of him. At number 3, Igor Shurkin. He only had a 905 this season, but his analytics were awesome. He just played on such a dog shit New York Rangers team. And when we talk about the best playoff performing goaltender of late, it is Igor Shurkin. He has a 926 save percentage in the 3 playoff runs from 2022 to 2024. I can make a strong argument for him being number 1, considering he had that Vezina win in 2022. He's been damn good every year in the regular season, again, even including this year. And he's been a monster in the playoffs, legitimately like historic playoff numbers. And the only reason why the New York Rangers got to conference finals in recent years, Igor Shurkin, although $11.5 million is a lot of money, you can definitely justify it considering what he does in the regular season. And in the postseason, number 2, Andrei Vasilevskiy. We thought coming into the last season, does he still have it? 900 save percentage last year. Bad playoff performance after dealing with a serious back injury. He plays 63 games and has a 921 and was the Vezina runner-up. Yes, the playoffs have kind of been ass the last 3 years with an 883 over the last 3 years. But the 3 years before that, 2020 to 2022, this guy has been the best playoff goalie in the NHL. One of the most legendary playoff runs ever, a 3-year stretch by a goaltender. So I think he checks in at number 2. And then at number 1, I still have Connor Hellebuyck. I know that might be crazy considering the playoffs are so bad, and especially on the road, he had an 806. But considering Bobrovsky, amazing playoffs this year, not the best regular season numbers. Vasilevskiy, great regular season numbers, but also played horrible in the playoffs. Shurkin didn't play in the playoffs. I think I'm still going to slot Hellebuyck here, who had a 925 in the regular season, 47-12 and 3 in the regular season, won the Hart Trophy as a goaltender. Needs to be better in the playoffs. Definitely needs to be better in the playoffs, but back-to-back Vezinas, I think he's just the best as of right now. Yes, he played good at 4 Nations, but hopefully this year he can turn around some narratives. Come Olympic time, he's probably going to be the Olympic starter, as well as in the playoffs. I still have Connor Hellebuyck at number 1, but I think 1 through 4 is pretty interchangeable. If you want to go based off Bobrovsky's playoff success and put him number 1, I'm not going to call you crazy. If you want to put Shurkin number 1, considering he's been so good in the playoffs and a little bit better in the regular season of late than a Bobrovsky the last 3 to 4 years, I get that. If you want to put a Vasilevskiy because he was so good in the regular season and does have prior playoff success, I definitely understand where you're coming from with your list. That's just how I line up. Connor Hellebuyck, number 1. Andrei Vasilevskiy, number 2. Shurkin, number 3. Bobrovsky, number 4. Oddinger, 5. Sorokin, 6. Omark, 7. Thompson, 8. Gustafsson, 9. Kemper, 10. And then for some honorable mentions, I would throw Dustin Wolf. I think he'd probably be my number 11 right now. Just doesn't quite have that track record, even though him in the AHL level, WHL level, the track record there was absolutely insane. Blackwood, Stolarz, Decord, Saros, Binnington, Demko are all going to probably be within my 11 through 20. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this ranking? Do you have Hellebuyck all the way at number 4 and number 5, considering how bad he's been in the playoffs? Do you have Bobrovsky top 2? I want to hear from you guys. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.